Hey everyone, thanks for watching Commander's Brew and this brand new deck tech from this week. If you like what you see, go down and hit subscribe, won't you? It's pretty easy to do. If you're loving what you see, go over to our Patreon page, patreon.com/commandersbrew. Help us make this and all the other stuff we do on this YouTube channel, including Battle of the Brews, which if you haven't watched it, go check it out. It's really fun. But this week, we're doing a brand new deck tech. Sean, what's it all about?
It's Liliana Tribal.
That is correct. Liliana Tribal. I'll tell you, this deck came from a little bit of an inspiration from the brand new set, War of the Spark. Seeing Liliana lead that zombie army in the trailer for War of the Spark, and then her having that change of heart where she becomes the hero, I was like, you know what? Let's put together a Liliana deck. Let's get all the Liliana cards all together. Let's see how they do. I know that they synergize. I bet they're going to synergize pretty well, and I was right. It's actually a pretty fun like Vorthosy deck. It's a bit of a stipulation deck too, right? And I urge people to do this. This is a pretty fun exercise too, because once you get your stipulations and trying to make it all work together is really cool. So the stipulation for this deck was obviously Liliana. We want to have any card with Liliana in the name has to be in the deck and in the rules text. There is one exception, and the one exception is Liliana's defeat, because that didn't feel right. You know what I mean? Like, that didn't feel like it made sense to include Liliana's defeat in the deck where we are Liliana, basically.
And I believe you also didn't include the card inspired by the trailer, Squish Mother and Child.
Squish mother and child. No. Yeah. Building falling on mother and child, but then reverse time. No, I didn't include those ones. No.
Someone uploaded that trailer in reverse, so we get to watch it like in the normal forward thing. It's very gruesome.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal. Yeah. Nicol Bolas doesn't mess around. Right? Like, he doesn't care.
No.
So with the stipulation, you get a ton of, obviously, you get all the Liliana Planeswalkers. You get a bunch of Liliana cards that care about Liliana, and then you get some other ones that aren't so great. But basically, what we are getting here is some good synergy revolving around discard, reanimation, and zombies. And then just for the Vorthos aspect of it, because we want to capture like the story of Liliana and how she came to be, we've got demons in here as well. So we got demons, we got zombies, we got reanimation, discard. These are things that Mono Black loves to do, and it's a lot of fun. So let's just get into it. So we're just gonna just list the Liliana Planeswalkers. We'll talk about some of them as they come up a little later, but we just wanted to get them out of the way, like the ones that we actually include in the deck. So Sean, why don't you go ahead and read the first 3 or something?
Okay, the number one Liliana of the Veil. We are also running Liliana of the Last Hope, of the Dark Realms.
Yeah, Liliana of the Dark Realms. She's big on the mana. She cares a lot about swamps and stuff. And those first two Lilianas, they're going to show up in the budget report, let's just say.
Yeah.
Also, in addition to those three, we've got Liliana Untouched by Death, which is she cares a lot about zombies. We got the original, the OG Liliana Vess from Lorwyn. We've got Liliana Death's Majesty, which is from Amonkhet. And then to round it all out, we've got Liliana the Necromancer and Liliana Deathwielder, both from the Planeswalker decks from their respective sets, M19 and Amonkhet as well. But of all of these, we can't have a Planeswalker be our commander yet. But just so happens we have one Liliana that is capable of being our commander. Sean, take it away.
Liliana Helvetica Healer. No, it's Heretical Healer. She is not the cleric of font types.
Of basic font.
Yeah. But classic.
Yeah.
So she's 1 black for a 2/3 legendary creature. That's why she can be a commander. She's a human cleric. She has lifelink. This is one of the flip planeswalkers. There's one of all the major colors. So whenever another non-token creature you control dies, you exile this card and return her to the battlefield transformed under her owner's control. So it's important to note that she does leave the battlefield and come back for things that care about that, auras and equipments and things like that. Then, not that they would stand a Planeswalker anyway, but you know what I mean. So if you do, you put a 2/2 black zombie creature token onto the battlefield, and then she transforms into Liliana Defiant Necromancer. 3 loyalty to start, and then you get to make each player discard a card, or you get to reanimate something that's X or less, and then her emblem is that creatures won't stay dead. If they die, they come back at the beginning of the next end step. Pretty fantastic.
Your creatures.
That's true.
Luckily.
Yeah, I mean, it should be implied.
There was a
What a silly emblem if it just made it so
Yeah,
no
I know,
creature
right?
could ever die.
There was a moment when I thought about making Nicol Bolas the commander for this deck, but this is about Liliana. We didn't want to have Bolas leading this up, and then us relying on his abilities and stuff. So while that would make sense Forthos wise and story wise, we're sticking with Lily here. Okay, so let's get right into this deck's neat moves. Okay, so this first neat move is a beauty. Okay, so this is a 3-card like little move here that Liliana works well with. First of all, we've got Necromancer Stockpile, which is a card it's an enchantment. It's going to let us discard our cards to make some zombies, to draw some cards. You pair that up with Archfiend of Ifnir, which is the big demon that when you discard something, it's going to put -1/-1 counters on your opponent's stuff. So we're shrinking our opponent's creatures while we're drawing cards and making zombies. And then you pair that up with Liliana Deathwielder. She's the big 7-mana one, like I mentioned from the Amonkhet Planeswalker decks. And one of her minus abilities is to destroy target creature with a -1/-1 counter on it. So it all comes together to add up to shrinking down your opponent's armies, building up your own army and drawing cards, and then Liliana can just pop in with a quick murder on one of the things that has a -1/-1 counter. It's perfect. I love this little like combo of these 3 cards together. They work really well.
Yeah, here's another way some cards work together well. We're talking Crypt Breaker, a cheap little zombie. Most zombies are 2/2. This zombie is very thin. This is an emaciated zombie.
Yeah.
It's a 1/1 zombie for 1, but it also has a discard ability with a tap to give you a zombie creature token, and then you get to tap 3 untapped zombies to draw a card and lose a life. Very good. You pair that up with something like From Under the Floorboards, which is normally a sorcery, and you get how many? You get 3 zombie tokens, but you get to use Crypt Breaker to discard this at instant speed if you care to, and then you're gonna gain X life and X zombies instead of just the 3 and the 3. And that 3 life also helps mitigate all the life you're gonna pay to draw all those cards.
That's true, and I'll tell you, it really does work well with mono black. Mono black, as you know, is great for generating mana. A lot of like doubling up like what swamps can produce. Like one of our like Liliana of the Dark Realms is really good at that. She helps with that a lot. So From Under the Floorboards can actually be like a game ending spell if you get to madness it out, which we've got a lot of ways to do that. So it's good.
Yeah.
Another thing that obviously we probably all know about this now because it just had like a bit of a price spike and War of the Spark is out, but Contagion Engine works really well whenever we're talking about Planeswalkers in a deck with a bunch of Planeswalkers in it. I guess you could say like there's a minor sub-theme of -1/-1 counters in this deck, and Contagion Engine works well with that too. So we can proliferate, we can build our Planeswalkers up bigger here, and we can also obviously shrink our enemies' armies down with the Contagion Engine's ability as well.
Oh, and it wouldn't be a Liliana themed deck without her Demonic Pact in there. This was a fun one. I remember that it was in Standard for a little while where you would try to trade it off right before they had to pick the lose the game one. We don't have a way to trade off the card,
No.
but we are running Claws of Gix, which is a fun way. A sack outlet's always important to have. This is a good one. This is no exception. And this is the way we're going to get rid of our Demonic Pact before it eats us alive.
Yes, and currently, I mean, it is the only way. But you know what? That Demonic Pact is hard to deal with. You have to feel the same way Liliana felt in the story when she got it. It's a bit of a burden. So hopefully you have your Claws of Gix, and then you play your Demonic Pact and make sure that you can get rid of it. So that Demonic Pact, that's a very important story element, and so we got to represent it well here. So not only do we have the actual pact, but we also have Liliana's Contract, which is a really fun enchantment that it really works so well in this deck. We're going to be drawing some cards with it. You lose 4 life and you do it, but also it's an alternate win condition because at the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 4 more demons with different names, you just win the game. So
is this one where Liliana is trying to be Marge Simpson?
Yeah, in the art, definitely.
Just
Yeah,
color her hair blue, make her dress green,
yeah.
put on a pearl necklace. Marge Simpson.
Marge Simpson's contract, right?
If
Make
you
Homer
control
breakfast.
if you control four Simpsons with different names.
Yeah, for
Bart,
other
Lisa.
Simpsons.
Yeah.
Homer, Maggie, Bart, Lisa. Yeah. So here's the Homer, Bart. Here are the Simpsons. Because we got to include the demons as well. So the actual four from the story are Razaketh the Foul-Blooded. Razaketh is a great one to have out first. So if you can get like Liliana Vest and you can tutor for, maybe you get the contract or whatever, you can tutor, find Razaketh, because then he can tutor the rest of them. Yeah, he's really good. He costs a lot, but really solid. You can sack your zombies and turn them into demons, basically.
Yeah, yeah. One of the other demons that Liliana made a deal with was Demon Lord Belzenlock. This is the Dominari one for 6. That whenever Belzenlock enters, you kind of get to flip until you hit a non-land. If it's a little card, you keep it. If it's a big card, aka 4 CMC or more, you just keep doing that. So you could just end up with a mitt full of cards. You're going to pay 1 life for each one that ends up in your hand this way.
These demons are really good at creating card advantage. I'm noticing that's a bit of a theme. So
Yeah.
we got Razakath, we got Belzenlock, we got to have Kothafed, Soul Hoarder, another 6/6 flyer, and it's when permanents other people control are put in the graveyard from the battlefield. You draw a card, you lose a life. Again, just drawing more cards. These demons are really good on their own, as well as being like, the fuel for the contract as well.
Yeah, and they seem really well balanced and fair for Commander.
Yeah.
I think they did a great job with all of Liliana's demons.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, before you go too far, there is a 4th demon, and of course that is Grizzlebrand. Grizzlebrand,
right.
4 and 4 black. No, it's banned in Commander. You can't play Grizzlebrand. Although I would say this: if you're playing, with just your friends, just your buds, and you did put the deck together, and you have a Grizzlebrand, like maybe you just have one lying around because maybe you had it before it was banned. Put it in and see if they're okay with it and they're fine with it. Put it in because it's part of the story. It works really well. Obviously, it's an awesome card. It's great. But more than likely, you don't just have a Grizzlebrand lying around because you're probably, maybe you play Modern and you have an extra one, but you're probably not playing a Grizzlebrand. You probably don't have one around. So what I did was I searched for a demon that has the exact same converted mana cost. And I'm pretty sure there's only one card period that has the exact same converted mana cost. And Sean will tell you about it now.
It's Reaver Demon for black. Right. So many pips.
Yeah, so many pips.
Yeah, so it's a little bit smaller than Grizzlebrand. Doesn't have lifelink, but
doesn't let you draw 7 cards.
No, but you get you get card advantage in a different way where you'll probably destroy 7 creatures.
It's true. That's true. It's actually a really good card, and I think it's worth it. Like a one-sided board wipe, which is what it will be a lot of the time. Or at least mostly, is going to be really good. And you get a 6/6 out of it as well, like on top of it. So I think it's a pretty decent little spell.
I mean, that guy's horns aren't quite as big as Grizzlebrand. He doesn't have giant, weird claw arms.
Yeah,
but,
weird like hoof
good.
arm, like hook arm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, this guy's no Grizzlebrand, but we got to deal with what we have, right? What we're allowed to use. So take a look at Reaver Demon to fill in that spot. There's also, of course, other demons, right? Demon tokens don't work well because they need to have 4 different names. So, we just threw in some of our other favorite demons. There's a lot of cool ones. There's some that make zombies and stuff like that too. So
Fave Deems.
There you go. Surprise and discoveries wise, there is one actually. Settle the Score is a sorcery that was pretty solid in Dominaria Limited. Let's say exile a creature, and if you happen to have a Planeswalker, you put 2 more loyalty counters on. But this card is perfect for this deck. And it's one of the fun things about building a deck like this is using cards that are otherwise pretty much not super playable in Commander. But because, it is exile. Yeah, it's sorcery. It's not great. But we're more than likely going to have a Liliana Planeswalker out. So being able to put her over the top, maybe get to an ultimate with this card is awesome. So I think Settle the Score is actually one of my favorite cards in the whole deck.
Nice.
Yeah.
Shall we do the budget report?
We shall.
This is where we take all of the cards and all of the ones that are modern staples may not make the cut.
That is Correct. As you saw, we are including some pretty expensive cards in this deck. Liliana the Veil, of course. And so this budget report comes up to a whopping $347.52. So like $350 basically. It's too much for a fun theme deck. It's too much for a Vorthos deck. But luckily, we can mitigate the cost of this with just a few cuts because we are including, like I said, the most expensive card in the deck, Liliana of the Veil. This is an $80 card, obviously modern staple. Even lives through reprints being this expensive. You don't need it for this deck because it's honestly one of the worst Lilianas for Commander, if not the worst. If you're outside of playing like competitive or 1v1 Commander, this card is not great. So don't even bother if you're looking to save money.
Yeah, Liliana the Last Hope. It's still very expensive. It's like $50-$60, but that one, again, it's just cheaply costed. It protects itself by giving something -2/-1, but like that's not the stuff we care a ton about in Commander. Sure, the Ultimate's amazing, but that's true of all Planeswalkers.
Exactly.
For the most part. Yeah.
$50, probably not really worth it. And the third most expensive card is experiencing a bit of a price spike right now because of War of the Spark. It's the Chain Veil. Obviously awesome in any Planeswalker focused deck, Super Friends, or all Lilianas or whatever you're talking about. This one is the one that hurts the most to cut, but it is $30. So again, we're looking to slash that price down from $350. So
Yeah.
yes, I consider I say you don't really need it because you've got so many Planeswalkers in general. So like having them activate extra times is definitely good, but not necessary. Obviously, it hurts. Honestly the most from a story wise because like this is Liliana's Veil. This is the Chain Veil. This is the whole thing.
Yeah.
Right? So this is
the Veil.
right. So it hurts to have to cut this, but again, if you're looking for it, maybe you do some trade-ins and try and keep this one in the deck. But I definitely wouldn't just go drop $30 on it. So that alone, those three cards right there, that's $160 of the deck. That's almost half of the deck's price just in those three cards alone. If you add Rise of the Dark Realms, which is also in this deck and is also a very Liliana card, at $22, and Contagion Engine, which is a $20 card, if you add that on, you're now cutting $200 from the price of this, and you got this down to a much more reasonable $150. So again, it's a theme deck, it's a fun deck. Don't break the bank on this. Make these cuts. Put in some more other like fun cards that we're going to work synergistically. There's a lot of cheap, good zombies out there, a lot of good cheap demons. So like you can still make this deck the way you want it to. And yeah, you can save a bundle just by cutting 5 cards. You cut $200. It's crazy.
Wow. Too expensive.
Too expensive. Way too much. But like I said, there's definitely a way to make this deck and make it cheap and make it fun.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What's your favorite card of the deck?
Ooh, yeah, okay. Well, one of the cheapest and one of my favorite cards in the deck is actually it's not super cheap. It's like $3. Overseer of the Damned. It's the demon, the 5/5 demon. That when it comes in, you get to destroy target creature, and then whenever a non-token creature an opponent controls dies, you make a 2/2 zombie. This is so perfect. It's a demon. It makes zombies. Liliana loves this guy, right? Like we want the demons out to get the contract going, and we want to have zombies out to like protect us and also to maybe swing in for a big attack later. So Overseer of the Damned is an awesome card, and I'm happy that it synergizes so perfectly here.
I went with a card that's not necessarily the most optimally priced, but it's Cackling Fiend. It's the creepiest artwork I have seen in recent memory in Magic cards. Yeah. Just everything about it is creepy, but I have to give it credit. The teeth are lined up very nicely.
He got a good zombie dentist, whatever's going on with this guy. Yeah. Where is he? Like, what's he doing? Are those pipes? Are those reeds? What is it?
I think he got trapped in Windows 98 screensaver pipes.
The pipes, right?
Yeah.
And there's a bug there. Like, that's why I think it might be like, those might actually be like a pipes, because that's like a little cockroach there.
That's what happened. It's like Black Mirror. Like someone put a computer away back in the 90s and it was running pipes, but like there was like a nice creature in there, but over time it just got warped into this cackling fiend.
Into this guy, and he got plastic surgery.
Ugh.
And they ruined his eyes.
Yeah.
Also, what's up with that ear? Man, what's happening? Cackling fiend.
Where to begin? Everything is wrong with this.
Everything's wrong with this guy.
Yeah.
He synergizes nicely in the deck, though. So a little bit of discard.
Sure.
Plus he's a zombie, so, he's got a home.
Brian Despain, you are a twisted individual.
Right, yeah, the artist. Awesome. Okay, well, yeah, that's it. That's the deck. Fun deck, lots of synergy there. Like I was saying, if any of you feel like doing this for any other aspect of Magic Story, any other Vorthos thing, whether it's like a plane maybe, or like a commander, or like a creature, or rather like character in the story, go check out MTG Salvation. It's the MTG wiki, I think. And if you look up like something like Liliana Vess, at the bottom of the wiki page, there'll be like they have it really laid out quite nicely, where it's like, here's all the cards Liliana is depicted in the art, and here's all the cards that use her flavor text, and here's any card where she's mentioned. So like, I did a regular search on like Scryfall to find like cards with Liliana in the name, but when it came to like, what art is she in, that page was so helpful, so nice. So yeah, go check that out. Otherwise, stick around here. Check out more stuff on our YouTube page. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Big thanks to all our patrons who make these episodes possible.
Yeah, and if you want to check out more comedy videos, check out our Brews News playlist.
Make sure you follow us on Twitch TV to see when we play live.
If you want to chat with us, head over to Twitter. We're at Commanders Brew.
And please hit subscribe to ding the bell and find out when we got new stuff coming out.
See you next time.
Bye.